After all this time, finally Hoyoverse also released a new character that will certainly make some players, especially female players, who are waiting for the arrival of this character. This character is named Hugo. Hugo has a pretty interesting kit, and certainly no less interesting than other characters. From the 1.7 banner information, we already know clearly that Hugo will have the Ice attribute with the attacker role. Can the presence of Hugo in this version make him one of the DPS who can occupy the current meta position as the best DPS for Ice attribute? So without further ado, I'm Hoyostation, and we will discuss the complete guide of Hugo version 1.7. Let's do this. Before we continue the video, I want to tell you some super important information that you should know, guys. It's about Top Up Live. Top Up Live is a trusted top-up service offering a variety of your favorite top games such as Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero. As a global platform, Top Up Live offers a variety of popular local and international live streaming and game top-ups. Game cards, gift cards, and game CD keys with digital catalog has over 3,000 game channels. Supported by 70 international partners and more than 126 gaming communities worldwide. Of course, Top Up Live also offers the best prices up to 25% off, which means you can get much cheaper prices than you can get today. Still not enough, you can enter the promo code at the time of purchase and get an additional sweet 8% discount. Still not sure about Top Up Live? Do not worry, Top Up Live is a leading global brand with over 10 years of experience specializing in providing online game stores and distribution platforms for live streamers, gamers, game developers, and publishers. Of course, it's 100% legit. So what are you waiting for? Start using Top Up Live right now. First, let's take a quick look at his base stats. Hugo has slightly higher base HP of 7,940 points compared to agents with similar roles, such as Soldier Zero NB and Evelyn. As for his own Anomaly Mastery status, Hugo has a slightly lower Anomaly Mastery of 86 points, while Evelyn has Anomaly Mastery of 92 points and Silver Soldier NB has 94 points. This also indicates that Hugo does not rely on the damage that comes from the Anomaly status, but only on the raw damage produced. Okay, next we will enter a rather important part first, namely his core ability, called Core Passive Terminating Verdict. When Chain Attack, Trick or Fate hits the enemy or an attack from Hugo attacks the enemy until it enters the stun status, Hugo gets the Dark Abyss Reverb state for 6 seconds. While in this state, Hugo's critical chance increases by 12% and Hugo's critical damage increases by 25%. In addition, if there's 1 or 2 agents stunned in the party, Hugo's attack increases by 300 points or 900 points. This means that Hugo must be paired with an agent that has a stun roll of up to 2 agents for him to get the maximum attack increase. This makes the best team composition of Hugo itself with 2 stunners, like Lycon and Trigger. Considering that a 900 attack increase is not a small number, we should maximize this effect as much as possible. In addition to these interesting effects, this core passive will provide a total loss effect if you attack the enemy with a finishing move from EX Special Attack, Soul Hunter Punishment, or Ultimate Blaspheme while stunned. If the enemy is affected by total loss effect, the final attack of the EX Special Attack launched will increase far up to 3,400% at the maximum limit, where the longer the remaining stun duration the enemy has, the higher the damage multiplier bonus will be. In addition, the stun duration that the enemy has will also accumulate into a stun value of up to 25% on the enemy, so we can quickly make the enemy enter the stun state again. Another interesting thing is that Hugo gets critical rate and also critical damage when Hugo attacks with a chain attack or Hugo attacks that make the enemy go into stun. This means that you need to maximize your last character switch to Hugo so that he can deal maximum damage. For now, it can be said that this skill has one of the highest damage multipliers of any agent in the game today. Next, for his additional ability named Additional Ability Prelude to Finality, which is active when there's a stun agent or an agent with the same attribute, Ice, in the team. The effect of this additional ability is no less interesting, guys, because with this additional ability, Hugo gets additional energy when using EX Special Attack, Soul Hunter Punishment on normal enemies, which automatically makes his energy needs will be easily achieved. Okay, we will enter the next part, the basic tag, which has 2 versions. The first version is called Basic Attack Dark Abyss Quartet. He will attack the enemy with 4 attacks that will deal physical damage and also ice damage. The interesting thing about this skill is that when we hold down the basic attack button on the 4th attack, Hugo will unleash an attack in the form of a charged shot at the enemy. During the 4th shot, Hugo will be resistant to interrupts and will have a 40% damage reduction. Hugo also has a second basic attack version called Basic Attack Concerto of the Dark Abyss. This skill can be triggered after using Basic Attack Dark Abyss Quartet, a shot from Dodge Counter Phantasm Slash, or a shot from Quick Assist Elegy by pressing the basic attack button, where Hugo will throw the sight forward and then shoot, dealing ice damage. While shooting, we can hold the basic attack button to recharge and fire amplified shots. When this skill is used, Hugo will be resistant to interrupts and will have 40% damage reduction. We move on to Special Attack section, which has 2 versions guys, namely Normal Special Attack and EX Special Attack. For Special Attack Soul Hunter Judgment, Hugo will attack forward and deal ice damage. As for EX Special Attack Soul Hunter Punishment, Hugo will charge forward and deal massive ice damage when he has enough energy. This skill does not count as a heavy attack. After this skill is used, the 4th basic attack immediately follows, Dark Abyss Quartet. Users will be immune during the casting of this skill. The interesting thing about this EX Special Attack is that the damage from this EX Special Attack is much greater than the first Special Attack, and the dazed effect from this skill is quite big at 684%, which will make the enemy go into stun status faster. In addition, the area of this EX Special Attack is quite big, which can hit many enemies in front of it at once. Not to forget, we will also discuss about his chain attack and ultimate. The chain attack is called Chain Attack Trick of Fate, will make Hugo dash forward followed by a shot that deals massive ice damage. Shots from this skill will be considered as charged shots and Hugo will be invulnerable during the launch of this skill. Interestingly, if we often trigger a stun effect on the enemy, this skill will often trigger, giving Hugo additional charge points. As for his ultimate called Ultimate Blaspheme, Hugo will throw his sight and attack the enemy in front of him, then make a big slash and deal deadly ice damage. This skill does not count as a heavy attack, and just like the EX Special Attack, the 4th basic attack will follow immediately after this skill is used, Dark Abyss Quartet. The user will be invulnerable during the casting of this skill. In addition to dealing deadly damage, keep in mind that this ultimate will also trigger the total ice effect if the enemy has a stun status. Finally, we come to the last part of the kit, which is the MINDSCAPE section. The first MINDSCAPE is called Child of Hatred, and the effect of this MINDSCAPE is quite interesting guys, as it will increase the total critical rate given by the Dark Abyss Reverb status by 2 times, which is 24%, and also increase critical damage to 55%. But the unfortunate thing is that MINDSCAPE only provides a critical increase without any additional effects, such as increasing the duration of Dark Abyss Reverb. What do you think? For the second MINDSCAPE called The Child Within, the interesting thing about this second MINDSCAPE is that Hugo can trigger the total ice effect 2 times at once in one stun duration through EX Special Attack and also through his ultimate, because his ultimate no longer causes the enemy to rise from stun. Automatically, Hugo's damage will increase drastically because he can totalize a total of 2 times at once, coupled with a reduction in defense will make Hugo's damage output very deadly. Remember to use ultimate first before firing EX Special Attack on stun to get 2 totalize effect in one stun duration. Additionally, for the 4th MINDSCAPE called Dramatic Theory, after the charged shot hits the enemy, Hugo's attack will ignore 12% of the enemy's ice resistance for 15 seconds. Repeated triggering will reset the duration. This 4th MINDSCAPE effect is quite simple and easy to trigger consistently. Of course, this debuff will increase all of Hugo's attacks. For the 6th MINDSCAPE named Crown of Thorns, all shooting attacks that hit the enemy will trigger the Dark Abyss Reverb status, which will last for 6 seconds. In addition, when any skill triggers the totalize effect, the damage increases again by 60%. Finishing move of EX Special Attack Soul Hunter Punishment also triggers the totalize effect when it hits an enemy that is not in stun status, as well as increasing the damage multiplier of the finishing move by 1000%. Of course, with the effect of this 6th MINDSCAPE, Hugo can unleash a Totalize effect without having a stun to the enemy first, coupled with the increased damage from Totalize, which increases drastically. Hugo's damage output with this MINDSCAPE will be very high. In addition, Dark Abyss Reverb status will be constantly active, as all of Hugo's shot attacks can be easily triggered. Okay, next we will discuss Hugo's signature W engine named Myriad Eclipse. As you can see, the advanced stat of this W engine can increase the user's critical rate by 24%, which will be very suitable for Hugo, who really needs a high critical value so that his damage output can be maximized. As for the effect of the W engine is also quite interesting, because this W engine will increase the user's critical damage by 45%. In addition, when Hugo attacks with EX special attack or ultimate, then Hugo's attack will ignore the enemy's defense by 25%, which will also increase the overall damage from Hugo himself. Okay, next I want to discuss about the suitable W engine and disk drive. For the choice of W engine that can maximize the kit of Hugo is Myriad Eclipse, which is his signature W engine, because all the effects of his signature W engine provide all the necessary things to increase the damage output of Hugo, especially on his critical value status. For alternative S-rank W engines, you can use Deep Sea Visitor, which is Alan Joe's signature. The effect of adding the ice damage and also the user's critical chance will be very useful considering that Hugo is an agent with the ice attribute. The advanced stat of this W engine is 24% critical rate, which is the same as his signature W engine. For an alternative rank A W engine, you can use the Cannon Roller, which increases attack and adds damage when the user triggers a critical on the enemy. In addition, the advanced stat of this W engine is critical rate, which will help balance the critical value of Hugo. But keep in mind guys, this W engine comes from the Battle Pass, which requires buying it first, so it's not friendly to free-to-play. For an alternative, you can use Margado Desire, which you can get from the event in version 1.4 then. This W engine can provide attack and advanced stat critical rate, which is useful for Hugo. Okay, lastly, for disk drives that can be recommended for Hugo are 4 sets of Woodpecker Electro, which is very universal disk drive and is used by many DPS. 2 sets will provide an 8% critical rate and 4 sets will provide 9% attack for 6 seconds when the user triggers a critical with basic attack, dodge counter, or EX special attack. The effect of this disk drive provides a critical rate and also attack, which is useful for maximizing the damage from the Hugo itself. For other alternatives, if the substat you have can meet the critical requirements of Hugo, you can use 4 sets of Hormone Punk, 2 sets of which will increase attack by 10%, and 4 sets of which will increase the user's attack by 25% when the user enters combat. For 2 sets of disk drives, you can use Branch and Blade Song, which increases critical damage by 16%, or Polar Metal, which increases ice damage by 10%. Anyway, for status recommendations that you can use are as follows. Finally, we come to the last part of this video, which is about the best teammates that can be paired with Hugo. As stated in the additional ability requirement, Hugo is an agent attacker with the ice attribute, which requires a certain requirement of having a partner with the stunner role or an agent with a similar ice attribute in your team. For the first character that is suitable for pairing with Hugo is Lighter. Lighter has a stun role with a fire attribute that can provide increased ice damage and also provide a reduction in ice resistance and fire resistance to enemies. So he will be very suitable when paired with Lycaon and also Hugo. For the next character, there's Lycaon, who can be used together with Lighter and Hugo at once, and will be the best premium team. He can provide ice resistance shred, which is useful for Hugo because he's an agent with the ice attribute, just like Lycaon. In addition, Lycaon is a S-rank character available on the standard banner, which makes many people must already have this character. For other stunner alternatives, you can use Trigger that can be used if you don't have Lighter or Lycaon. Trigger can deal considerable damage thanks to the aftershock attack it provides. In addition, Trigger's core passive will increase the stun damage multiplier, which makes almost all DPS including Hugo produce greater damage output when the enemy enters a stun mode. In addition, Trigger is an off-field stun character that is very suitable to be paired with other on-field stunner characters. The last alternative is none other than Qingyi. who is still one of the best stunners. Ching-Yi can increase a large stun damage multiplier and will also increase the damage of her teammates including Hugo. The advantage of Ching-Yi compared to other stunners is that it's able to provide a very large daze value in a relatively short time, making it perfect for Hugo. Okay guys, maybe that's all for this video. What do you think? If there's anything you want to ask, please type it in the comments down below. And don't forget to check out my other videos because they are no less cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.